A local criminal, and he called the bank and told me he's coming down there to rob them. John, he drove his Model T on down there and robbed that bank and got away with it. But well, he was around in the area. Trying to think of his name, John something. He was about like John Dillinger, so later on he was crossing on Dixie, crossing Cypress Creek Bridge, and the sheriffs and deputies were all there waiting, and they riddled his car full of bullets, and also him.
Good place to live, in the fact that you knew everybody and everybody knew you. You didn't worry about your kids because if you weren't there to correct them, somebody else was. One of the wonderful things about growing up when I did was that we were always taught to, if you had a problem, to go to an adult. Now, you know, you say keep away and whatever. No, we knew we could go to an adult and we would get help. The trust that we had, we didn't have a key. I shouldn't say that. We did have a key to our house. We had a skeleton key, and the door was locked when a hurricane was coming to keep the wind from blowing it open. You latched the screen doors to keep the them from blowing open and an animal from walking in. But we went to town or whatever, everything was left wide open. Everybody kept their car keys in the same place, in the ignition.
Out, I would run home, change clothes, run back to the farm. It was only a mile over there, and work until it's too dark to see. But in the wintertime, that was only from maybe 3:30 until 5:30. It didn't get too much light. And of course, in the teens, I was able to do quite a bit. So, being a farmer, everybody else's son was a farmer. They didn't know about drugs and a lot of other things that are a problem now.
When we came to Oakland Park, we had people, the majority of whom were farmers, some were merchants, and then we had our winter visitors, people who from the north who came down to winter here. And as people learned about the warm weather down in South Florida, and air conditioning came along after World War II, which made it comfortable to live here year-round. Of course, many more people came, and people of from different communities of different thinking. But before then, it was, I would say many of us were Southerners who had come. I know so many people who settled here well ahead of us that came from Georgia down to Fort Lauderdale and been highly successful in their fields. And we were a southern town. That's why I still have a little bit of a southern accent. But it didn't, my daughters don't have, of course.
I was growing up. It was, authority meant something. If you were in school and you were reprimanded by the teacher, or heaven forbid that you got a spanking, and you went home, and if your parents knew about it, they didn't go back to the school to complain. You got another one when you got home. Their authority meant something. It was not something that you rebelled against, and I think that that was good in a way.
It always has been an easy town to get around in. It's easy to get the business people to work with you, talk with you, and help you. If you're having a problem doing what you're doing, you can find somebody that does it, and they'll show you how they do it. And you know, so it just, you know, a big family type of thing, and it was called a city. You know,
the population when we came here, I would probably say wasn't much more than maybe 2,500 people in the whole area. Now, this last census, I don't remember, I don't know what it was, but the one before, I think it said the city was like 26,000 now, something like that.